Okay, Maycember, is that what they're calling it these days? Where you have so many activities in May that it's basically like the holidays. Holy goodness. So with Maycember coming up and so many parties and things like that, I've decided to challenge myself again on my grocery bill to only $25 a week. Now, I have a lot of pantry stuff stocked up. I have a lot of ground beef stocked up. I have a lot of canned goods, orzo, pasta, things like that stocked up. So I'm going to try to keep my spending to $25 a week. Oh, and I have eggs. I found a local lady that does eggs, and I referred so many people, she gave me a fresh dozen eggs. So I do have eggs too. But let me show you, I just did my first grocery haul. I have to go to Walmart to pick up chicken, and I'm gonna try to keep it $25 this whole, like $25 a week for a full month for 3 weeks. Let's shoot for 3 weeks because we're already a week into May. And I did $66 at Kroger already. I shared that in this video here. So I do have a lot of that kind of stuff too, but let me show you what I got when I paid. Okay, so here is the first haul. So I actually got this for free. If you shop at a Kroger affiliate store frequently enough, they will give you free items about once a month. And this was my free item this month. So that was free. Raspberries are $1.47 a case. So I got 2 there. So there's about $3. I grabbed buttermilk, not because it's on sale, but because I want to make our own cilantro ranch. I figured if you add cilantro ranch, it's good on everything. So I tried to pick it up at my local Costa Vida, and it was $10 for a pound. So I figured I can make my own. So I grabbed some buttermilk. That was like about $2.50. Italian sausages are on sale this week at Kroger for $3.99. So I figured this could probably be 2 dishes. We could probably do like some stuffed shells and maybe like this with some gnocchi in like a soup. It's supposed to rain on Sunday. That feels like a good plan. I grabbed some cilantro. There was this huge bunch for 89 cents to go obviously with the cilantro ranch, as well as like just putting this in with a little bit of chicken bouillon in my rice, make like a cilantro rice. And then I grabbed this from Costco. I do a lot of salads, especially for work, and I figured this with some like my chickpeas that I have on hand, a little bit of cilantro, that ranch, and then I'm going to go buy some chicken at Walmart and maybe do like a balsamic type chicken, kind of make like a crossover between like a cilantro Greek salad. I don't know. I have thoughts. I don't have plans, but I have thoughts. But this challenge kind of came to me after I realized how many parties we had, and I'm gonna try to save every penny I can. So there's the first haul. Because this was free, this ended up only costing me $10.50. Super happy about that. And then to add to this haul, I don't have it pictured here, but I did grab a gallon of milk at my local Lee's on Wednesdays. So on Wednesdays, their milk is only normally $1.99, but they're celebrating their 40th anniversary, like their 40th year in business. And so they were actually only $1.80 for a whole gallon of milk. So I do have another gallon of milk that I need to add here. So $10.50 plus $1.80. So not too bad for a start. And then I'm going to go add chicken, probably spend about $10 on chicken. That should get me at that $25 threshold. And like I said, I already have a dozen eggs because a local lady gave me a dozen eggs because I referred so many people to her business. So let's see what we can do. And then also just keep in mind, this is a week after I posted this video here. So I also have a lot of bacon and sausage and things like that. Let's see what we can come up with. Okay, I just got back from Walmart and I just picked up my chicken. So I just picked up some raw chicken. I end up getting, what are they called? The breast tenderloins instead of just like the chicken breast, because I found they have way less fat on them, way less like bad parts to cut off. And so my dollar goes a little bit further. Let's see, breast tenderloins. So my total for this was $8.79. And I realized when I was doing my my last video of all my haul, and I was like, it was only $10.50. I didn't add the romaine lettuce. So it was $10.50 for Smith's, $4.99 for that big thing of romaine lettuce that is going to cover all of my lunches. And so really we were looking at like $14.50, and then the $1.88 for a gallon of milk, and then this chicken breast for $8.79. So I think I went over by about $1 or so, which is fairly good, especially because when I went to the store, I was just like, we're just gonna do this. And I didn't go in with a plan. So going over $1, not a huge deal. Obviously these prices are all pre-taxed, but we'll see what we can come up with. Today for lunch, I ended up just baking a loaf of bread and we did tuna fish sandwiches. So far I haven't had to dip into anything that I bought thus far. We're gonna do cilantro ranch today with cilantro rice and some salsa chicken, just slow cooked. And that'll honestly probably be 2 meals worth because we'll probably do like rice bowls. Can you hear my 1-year-old? We'll probably do rice bowls and then we'll probably do like a quesadilla with that same chicken and same ranch. So I will film it all. But here we go, going into this week, feeling pretty good, feeling motivated. But that's how the beginning of the weeks always start out. Okay, for night 1, we're doing turkey, lettuce, bacon wraps. So I just cooked up some of that bacon that I got on a really good deal for the buy one, get one free last week. And then I had the lettuce from this week. And then the deli meat is just something I like always have in my fridge. I buy it in bulk and then I usually freeze it. So this is dinner tonight. And then I'll probably do a side salad with the rest of the lettuce. So super easy. My kids are outside playing, so this is kind of, we're gonna eat outside. This is what the inside looks like. I probably should have added cheese, but that's okay. The outside salad and then probably some of those raspberries. I am still in my pajamas. It is the weekend. So day 2, yesterday we had tuna fish sandwiches on some homemade bread, and then for lunch and then for dinner we did those bacon lettuce wraps. And so today is Sunday. So it is a very rainy, so it's a perfect time to make soup. And I found that whenever you're trying to really stretch your food budget, soup is one of those things that is just volume. It's just so much volume. So I used some of the chicken that I bought, and I have it in here in the crock pot, along with some garlic. So garlic is one thing I never have to buy because my amazing father-in-law grows it in his garden and ties it up for me like that. And yes, I just displayed it in my kitchen and I love it. So I did a bunch of case lot sales a couple weeks ago. I posted a video about some of them, and so we're doing a white bean chicken chili. So I've just got let's see, here we go. I've just got the chicken in there with the white beans, garlic, a little bit of onion that I had left over, and then corn, and then this. If you are on a budget, this is amazing. I never ever buy chicken stock or chicken broth because I just use this. I just sprinkle it in with water and it goes 10 times further. So I've just thrown all that in for a crock pot on low. And then when I was going through my fridge, I also discovered I had this left over. And this is really good in chicken chili soup. Or if you have like green enchilada sauce, that's really good too. So I'm just gonna throw that all in, cook it on low for about 6 hours, and that's gonna be dinner tonight. For lunch, we just actually finished lunch, and again, homemade bread with just some turkey sandwiches. And then I have my bread maker going. That's probably what you can hear. I am not the Miss Pioneer woman. I'm not great at making bread, but I have a bread maker that makes it foolproof. So we're doing more bread to with that. So more bread for the week, soup for dinner, and that's gonna cover day 2. Okay, and here's the final product. I did add some mozzarella cheese that I had got the week prior to like the baby foot, as well as topped it with some cilantro that I had bought earlier this week. If I had sour cream, it would be delicious to add here, or cream cheese, but I don't, so this is what we get, and it was great. Okay, I look a little rough because it is a work from home day, but I am on day 3 of this challenge, and it's been a little cold today, so we're gonna do soup again. I've got some gnocchi from my pantry. I always keep this in my pantry. If ever my budget has a little bit of give, this is usually what I pick up. They do sell them at the dollar store for $1.25, or you can get them at Walmart. My Walmart has them priced at $1.48. Usually I just need to hit that threshold for Walmart delivery, and so I'll just usually grab this, or orzo. Orzo is another good thing I love to have on hand. But let me show you what I'm making. Okay, so I've just got some garlic and oil, and then I used half of that package of that Italian sausage. So I'm gonna break this up and brown it, and then I'm gonna add in some water with some chicken bouillon seasoning, this, and then I have half and half on hand because I always like to drink hot protein in the morning, so I always have half and half. I buy it in bulk from Costco or Sam's Club. And then I have some frozen spinach I'll throw in here, and that will be dinner tonight. I will post the recipe in the description below for this dinner. It's a super frugal meal. You don't have to use a full pound of sausage, which I really like. You can always just use like a half a pound, and it really goes a long way. Again, soup is one of those things that's just kind of volume feeding, really stretches the budget. Okay, now that my sausage is all browned, I ended up finding this in my pantry. I got it from a Buy Nothing page. So I'm gonna add in some of that along with the 2 cups of water. I will add in the chicken bouillon, and then I will add this and my spinach, and then add some cream, and dinner should be ready. And this is what lunch usually looks like. I do my fix-ins separate from my lettuce. If I had spinach, I would add it, but I don't. And then besides frozen, and then just some fix-ins. And then I just do a mix of ranch and balsamic vinaigrette. It's really delicious, trust me. And so this is kind of what lunch looks like. I might add like a beef stick or like some cheese slices for a snack, but pretty simple, easy, pre-make, take to work. Okay, and here's the final product. And trust me when I say this was like way better than I expected. I did have to add quite a bit of seasoning, garlic, salt, onion powder, and the chicken bouillon, of course. And then you can see the garlic, raw garlic added a ton of flavor, but this was delicious. I will definitely make this again, and it made a ton. Okay, it's almost 5 p.m. and I don't have dinner ready. It was a super long day in the office, and that commute just killed me. So I'm going to make a really quick dish, just a barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken, that's what we're gonna make. I could also do barbecue chicken pizzas like on a tortilla, but I have so many of those tenderloins left over that I'm going to do a really simple, easy barbecue chicken. And then I have some instant potatoes. Just gonna do that with some green beans, call it a day. Okay, so I've trimmed up some tenderloins, and I'm just going to add some onion powder, garlic salt, dry ranch seasoning, and then for a little bit of spice, some paprika. I don't like the feel of raw meat. These gloves are a total game changer. Since I'm out of paprika, I might do some chili powder just for a little bit extra flavor. Okay, and here's what it looks like after the second bake. So first bake, 10 minutes with just the seasoning. Second bake, 15 minutes with the barbecue sauce. Okay, and I'm sure you have seen these. If not, I'll link it below. It's magic. Stick your chicken in, do a few of these, shreds it all up. Okay, and this is dinner for tonight. Just some good old-fashioned butter and garlic canned beans, potatoes with some garlic, salt, and butter, and then that barbecue chicken. Okay, today is free for all day. So one day a week, we do a free for all where our kids can have leftovers, cereal for dinner for all I care. Today, we're having crepes, and if you've never had a crepe maker, it's life-changing. I'm not even kidding. We can make like a batch of 20 and like so fast, and then we can just put it in the fridge and have them for breakfast throughout the day. So I highly recommend like a free for all day once a week. It is such a mental load. Take it off. Okay, I can't even remember what day we're on. Yes, I have purple hair. It washes out, don't worry. So today I'm gonna do salsa chicken. So just the rest of that chicken topped with taco seasoning, and then I always have picante sauce on hand. So we'll just throw that in with the Instant Pot, and then I'm going to use the buttermilk to make some cilantro ranch. I might either do like chicken quesadillas, we can dip in the ranch, or I have some leftover salad from my lunches. I might do like a chicken salad, and then I have some cilantro, and I'm gonna do cilantro rice. Cilantro rice is so easy to make when you use the Instant Pot. I should have thought this through, and I probably should have slow cooked my chicken and then use my Instant Pot for the rice, but I didn't have time when I left my house this morning. So I'm gonna do the chicken and then wash the Instant Pot and hurry and turn around and do the rice. So I'll show you how to do the rice. Okay, now that my chicken is all cooked up and shredded, I'm gonna do the cilantro rice. So it's just 1 part regular white rice, 2 parts water. I did do a little bit of the chicken bouillon seasoning for additional flavor. And then the cilantro. I'm doing a lot smaller batch just because I actually made this earlier in the week, just a smaller batch for my salads, and my kids are sick of it. So I'm just doing some. Okay, now
we're gonna make the cilantro ranch. So I'm gonna make a small batch. So half a cup of mayo, full cup if you want a big one. I'm gonna do about a third cup of buttermilk. And honestly, I'm measuring with my heart, so it might not be right. And then if I had a fresh lime, it would be obviously way better, but just a shot of lime juice. And I'm gonna do a little bit of garlic salt and then fresh garlic as well. I'll mix this up inside, and then just, and then obviously my cilantro, so 1/4 cup of cilantro in here as well. Actually, I'm probably gonna do, because it's a half batch, I'll do an eighth cup of cilantro. I'll post the recipe in the description below, and then we'll blend it all up, and dinner will be ready once the rice is ready. Okay, and this is what dinner ended up being like. I ended up just heating up some black beans from the K-Slot sale, my cilantro rice, and the chicken. My kids will probably just do like rice bowls. I don't know if they'll be crazy about the salad, but super easy. I'm like shocked how easy it was to make my own ranch, but that is dinner for tonight.
Okay, I am in the final day of week 1. I just went grocery shopping for week 2. So because I did that big haul last week at my local Kroger, I had a ton of sausage. It was on such a good deal, so I stocked up. So we're just doing sausage breakfast burritos. Like I said, I got a ton of eggs for free because I referred so many people to a local farmer. So we are doing just sausage and breakfast burritos today for dinner. She's excited. Okay, and I know this meal isn't practical for everybody because eggs are so expensive, but really per item, they're not too bad. But if this is the easiest way to make like a huge batch of burritos or like fixings for burritos. So we are gonna do a huge batch because we're gonna prep for breakfast next week as well as do dinner tonight. So in here is just like pepper, salt, cheese, and a ton of eggs. And then we're browning our sausage over here. So I did, like I said, use that pound of brown sausage that I got the week prior, and we're gonna combine it all together. And then you bake it in these, oh good, that's on the outside. You bake it in these jars. How high do you bake it?
400 degrees.
Bake it for 400 degrees.
For 20 to 30 minutes.
For 20 to 30 minutes, and then that way you can just like cut out a fixin and put it in a burrito. And then you just like have the fixins like ready for breakfast. I'll show you what all that looks like. This is just what it looks like. So just pour the sausage, pour the egg on top, and then bake it for about 30 minutes at 400. Yeah, all the cheese. This is also a good, like if you have cottage cheese on hand, this is a good addition to just like add some extra protein. Okay, this is what they look like when they come out. We just topped it with some more cheese, and then that way you can just throw it on a burrito. You can top it with like some picante sauce or ketchup or whatever, or it's really good plain, and then roll it up, and then that way you can just put this in the fridge and then just pull out the section you need every morning to reheat. So we're gonna have one for dinner, maybe even 1.5 for dinner because it made 2, and then the other half we're going to save for some breakfast. But he really, I mean, that little tiny strip was definitely enough for a burrito. So this is volume feeding for sure. Okay, and that concludes a full 7 days of only going to the grocery store. Well, I technically went to 2 grocery stores, but one haul, $26. That's what I fed my family for the week. I know this isn't like practical for everybody because I know not everybody has like a huge stock up of other items, but hopefully it gave you some ideas and maybe motivated you to do like a lower spend and challenge yourself to use what we already have on hand. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching.